So, lads, that's it. That's it. Season's done. I'm. I don't think we can argue that the Indiana Fever did not give every single thing that they had. They gave everything. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. The Indiana Fever gave everything they had, and just wasn't. It wasn't enough. Aja had a serious game. Jackie Young was exceptional in overtime. Jewel Lloyd and Chelsea Gray were the two players that really I felt stepped up. I thought they were the two in overtime that were the X factors in that game. And let's not forget that there was for quite a lot of that game it was 8v1. As in they had the three refs on their side and we literally were just Odyssey Sims for a while. But unbelievable season. If you had told me coming into the season that the Indiana Fever were going to be an overtime away from making the WNBA finals, I would have said, you know what, that's okay. That's a success. That's a fine season. I was like, would have maybe hoped they would have made the finals, but you know what, can't be too upset by that. But if you told me that they would go into overtime with a lineup of Shea Petty, Bree Turner, Lexi Hall, Natasha Howard, and Odyssey Sims, with their only eligible bench players being Michaela Timpson, Bree Hall, and Ariel Powers, I would have thought that there was some glitch in the simulation, and 2K just randomly started adding free agents to your team, and there was some weird AI that made you trade Caitlin Clark. I would have thought that you were playing 2K My League and there was a glitch in the system. But no, that's reality, and that's what happened with the Indiana Fever, and I can't say they were anything other than fantastic. From 1 through 17, bench mob, starters, players like Bree Turner, who became huge players in the playoffs. Like Bree Turner changed the season in what she did in that Connecticut game. Like Bree Turner literally changed that season in that Connecticut game when they were down 21, when they realized we can beat anybody. And I have to say that I think the Fever are going to run it a lot back. The Fever don't need much; they just need to run a lot of it back and just sort out that power forward position. But let's listen to Stephanie White and what she said about in our press conference.
She's got a lot of lower body cramping. She's currently at the hospital right now getting fluids. She's got.
Yeah, I think with Kelsey Mitchell, I said it. I when people were like, "Oh, is she bad?" When I saw just the way she fell, I was like, "Oh God." I was worried because I was like, "This isn't a leg injury." I thought she might have had a clot or a cardiac arrest or something. The way she just walked up to the referee, grabbed the ref, and just went to the ground. So I was like, "Oh no, oh no," and she was kind of stumbling, and with the amount of people around her, and then the big stretcher. But as soon as she got up, I was like, "She's okay." And she was like moving slowly, and then suddenly her legs like seized up, and she was being carried, and her leg was just flying around. I was like, super cramp. Like you've seen it. Anyone who's played sports has seen people when they've just given too much, and that's what it was. That's what it was. So that's a good sign. But let's take a listen to what she said as well.
I think the first word that comes to mind is just gratitude. I mean, I've experienced some special teams in this league, in this organization. But collectively, this group has been at the top. So I'm extremely grateful for every single one of them. We know this is going to be an off-season full of change in the league. But what these women accomplished together, I mean, it's a special story. It's a special story, and I hope one day it's told. But I'm so proud and so grateful.
And I mean it, like, she's right. She's right. Like, there's been a lot of special teams. There's been a lot of good teams. I don't think we've seen anything like this. Like, if they went and made the finals, you could make a movie on this. You could make a movie on this season for the Indiana Fever. Like, it would be, like, I don't mean a documentary. You could make like a sports movie about this, and it would be crazy. Like, it would be the craziest. like it would be like there's going to be a movie made about this. Let's be honest, there's going to be a movie made about this season, because of the fanfare, because of everything. It is the easiest movie you could ever make, and it'll probably happen in 10 years' time. There'll be a movie made about this. What they did was absolutely incredible. And I love the answer to this question.
Steph, I know what a competitor you are. How soon do you start thinking about, okay, let's start thinking about next year?
Tomorrow.
I knew it. I held hands with that. I knew it. I
See,
knew it.
this is what happens when you're on the same wavelength. Good things happen.
This Indiana Fever team wants to win. Like, you can see Stephanie White getting emotional, especially when talking about Kelsey Mitchell. Like, Kelsey Mitchell gave everything, and her body just let her down. She gave everything, and I don't think you can say a negative. You can have a negative word to say about Kelsey Mitchell. I think she was absolutely fantastic. She was absolutely fantastic, and you got to give credit where credit's due to her and to this team. What they gave, they all gave everything they could. They all had nothing left in the tank, and I just think it's so impressive what this team managed to do. So yeah, that's kind of it. I think tomorrow or the next day we're going to see the exit interviews. I doubt it'll be tomorrow, because I'd say they'll go back to Indiana, and then the following day will be the exit interviews. But even still, I think it's been a hell of a season for this team. And I think, look, when you have what this team has in terms of the togetherness, and then when you add the talent in that matches up, and you add the fit, like, this is a team. The pieces didn't fit. The talent wasn't quite there. Like, these pieces didn't fit together. They just willed themselves back into games. They had no spacing. They had no real three-point shooting. They weren't a great defensive team individually. It was all work rate. It was all teamwork. It was all chemistry, and it's just so impressive. So impressive. In general. So yeah, I think it is an interesting one. All around for Steph White. I think this team is in a situation where you can't run it back and expect to win, because other teams are going to improve. Other teams have an ability to get better, which maybe the Fever don't. Jesus Christ, sorry. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's 7 a.m. I'm so tired. But this Fever team, I think every single person involved in this organization should be proud of what they've accomplished this season. I think so many times this season, this team could have just given up, and they never did. And then they just didn't have enough firepower in that overtime. They just didn't. The Aces hit big shots. The Fever made some bad plays down the stretch. The Fever could have won that game in regulation. The Fever should have won that game in regulation. Let's be honest. The Fever should have won that game in regulation. But I gotta say, it's so impressive. It's so impressive what this Indiana Fever team have done. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It is an all-around interesting one. I realize my mic volume's been super low, because every single time my sound setting on my microphone changes. Every single time I go into one of Rosalina's streams, my microphone level goes from 70 to 20. So it goes from this is what it's supposed to be to really, really low. So I do apologize for anyone who's had to turn this up on max volume and had their ears destroyed by that noise. So I do want to apologize. I'll see you guys.